Hello chess friends and welcome to Jozarov chess channel and welcome to a beautiful tournament that started yesterday. Welcome to the Prague Chess Festival in 2024. So this tournament is a one round robin of 10 players. It's a classical time format event in which we'll see many great games for sure, because we have participants like Vincent Keymer, Ramesh Babu Praggnanandhaa is here, Gukesh, Nodirbek Abdusatorov, Richard Rapport, always a great tactician, always a sharp player. So every day we'll see beautiful derby, and in the round one already a spectacular game happened between Ramesh Babu Praggnanandhaa and Vincent Keymer. So this game was suggested to me by one of my viewers. Thank you again for suggesting me this one, because this was epic, in my opinion, one of the best chess games so far in 2024 for sure. So let's dive into the game with the white pieces. Prague opened with the move e4. We have e5 by Vincent, knight to f3, knight to c6, bishop to c4. We have the Italian game on the board. Knight to f6, two knights defense, d3, normal variations here, bishop to c5, the transposition into the Giuoco Pianissimo of the Italian opening. Castling, a6, preparing in some lines b5 to hit the bishop on c4. We have c3 by Prague, preparing now the normal breakthrough idea of the Italian opening with the move d4. Bishop to a7, a4, protecting the b5 square, not allowing here black to expand on this side of the board. We have d6 by Vincent Keymer, rook to e1 by Prague. Good move, of course. Prepares, of course, again the move d4. The rook on e1 is now connected to the pawn on e4. We have castling, and now the prophylactic idea, the normal idea of the Giuoco Pianissimo. We have now the move h3, not allowing some bishop to g4 ideas by black, not allowing to get pinned. Then you cannot play, of course, afterwards the move d4. And now Vincent Keymer plays a very aggressive method. He plays a tricky line. It's a rare sideline of the Giuoco Pianissimo. It is a tricky idea because many of us, I think, would play something like knight to e5, but this was a tiny little trap here by Vincent, because actually you cannot take. It seems so that you win a pawn because now the knight is hanging, but black doesn't have to react. Black would simply put more pressure against the pawn on f2, and the game would be already over here for white. This is unprotectable. You have to step back. We simply pick up now the piece. This one is protected, so as I said, simply not working here for white. But of course Prague sees that, plays now the counter attack, plays now bishop to g5, hits simply the queen. We have a knight to f6, and now comes this breakthrough idea with the move d4. We have h6, bishop to h4. We have now the move g5, and already in move 13 we have now the spectacular knight takes g5. And this move is actually even a theoretical novelty, because in chess history bishop to g3 has been played, in which black won the game. So as I said, here Prague probably has something prepared at home, plays now the aggressive knight takes g5. Already in move 13, a beautiful and spectacular piece sacrifice. Very wild stuff. The game is exploding now all over the board. So we have now h takes g5, bishop to g5, pins of course the knight. The knight is a little bit loose here, and now Prague is hoping to get also the queen into the game, is trying of course to get this piece back here on f6. We have king to h7. Here Vincent is preparing to include the rook into defense by playing rook to g8, rook to g6. We have now queen to f3, and now king to g6. The king has to be here. The king has to now protect the knight. Really cool position. But if you are familiar with the Italian opening, I think this is a common sacrifice. It's one of the first tactical shots that I've learned when I was a kid. My father always told me, when someone is playing g5, you should just sacrifice on g5 and hope for the best. So I think this is really beautiful to see again these types of positions in the Italian opening, because the position is, the engine says it's about equal. So nothing gained here for black, nothing gained here for white. Black has to of course defend this position. White is hoping to get the piece back, but it's really a beautiful dynamic position. So we have bishop to h4. The bishop has to step back. We have e takes d4 by Vincent. Good move, which of course liberates now the e5 square. Vincent is hoping to get the knight on e5 and control the center of the board. You cannot play something like rook to h8 in order to somehow put more pressure against the bishop, because then after queen to g3 you have to step back, and now bishop to f7 is already winning the game here for white. There's simply no good way anymore to compete on the g file. It's a messed up position suddenly here for black. So that's why here e takes d4. As we said, we have queen to g3 by Prague, hitting the king, king to h7, and now bishop to g5. Again, Prague is keeping the tension here on this diagonal, hopes of course also to get the queen on h4 and then maybe finally recapture the knight on f6. What should black do? Black cannot play again this move rook to g8 because you're running into this line. So as I said, it's simply not working. In some lines you can get even checkmated. So that's why after bishop to g5, rook to h8, here played by Vincent Keymer, we have now knight to d2. Prague has to, of course, now include all of the pieces into the attack, and again, black has several choices. So if you don't react correctly, I think you could get smashed here immediately. So there are many options that Vincent could have played here. Queen to g8, like he played, is a solid idea. Also, knight to e5, very interesting idea, which would lead, I think, into a very, very complicated position. Look what happens after knight to e5. It's really crazy. Look at this. We play c takes d4, you play bishop to d4, and now the rook gets into the game. This wasn't playing the game, but I wanted to show you how the game would have continued after the obvious knight to e5 that Vincent Keymer has prepared. After knight to e5, look at this, c5 supporting the bishop, and now even rook to f3 is possible. Sacrificing the exchange, look at this, in some lines, again, you would get destroyed by rook to e3, rook to g3, not working here. For instance, if instead of this move, knight to f3, you could maybe attack the queen, but then the queen is coming again. You're trying to protect with the queen on here. Bishop, rook to g3 supports the bishop, gets out of this mess. You cannot take because of the queen's activity. You're trying something like queen to g8 to escape. Look at this, bishop to f6, you have to cover. Queen to g5, rook to h7, bishop to e5, bishop to e5. You continue the pressure here around the square f7. You're trying to attack queen to g6. So I wanted to show you how tactically rich really this position is. So I'm not sure how much of this Prague and Vincent Keymer saw in their preparation, in their tactical calculations, but this was also very, very unpleasant, for instance, position to handle for black. So after move knight to d2, as I said, the obvious knight to e5 is also very dangerous here for black. So that's why queen to g8 here by Vincent Keymer prepares again some dirty ideas after bishop to f6, queen to g3, and then here as you play something like bishop to f6, queen to g3 takes, and now this diagonal gets liberated. We take the knight, we take the rook, so it's not working here for Prague. So after move queen to g8, here Prague played the best move, e5, which liberates now the long diagonal for the light square bishop. You could maybe try something like, I don't know, knight to e5, but then look at this, rook to e5, d takes e5, and now the bishop is coming. You try to cover, knight to e4, and after bishop to e4, you don't have to even take, you just continue the pressure against the knight. If black, for instance, covers, you would take, and the game is over again here for black. So this is not working. So really good move here by Prague, e5, liberating simply the long diagonal for the light square bishop. So that's why knight to h5 here played by Vincent tries, of course, to kick away the queen from the attack, but of course queen to h4. Again, Prague continues the pressure. Again, Prague attacks simply the knight, forces basically again a defensive move here by Vincent, queen to g6. We have bishop to f6 attacking the rook, rook to g8, beautiful counter attack by Vincent, threatening of course also the checkmate on g2. Really wild stuff. Again, the position is getting more and more tense in every move. So bishop to d5, here Prague not only protects the pawn on g2, of course places the bishop on the most active square, attacks also the knight on c6. We have bishop to f5 by Vincent, knight to e5. If you play here, then after bishop to e5, d takes e5, rook to e5, again Prague would have enormous pressure against this knight on h5. You try maybe to cover it, but now look at this, after c takes d4 with g4, the position could collapse here again for black. So in every move, Vincent Keymer has to find the optimal move, the only move that's protecting now the position. We have bishop to f5 here by Vincent Keymer, bishop to f3, putting more pressure against this knight on h5, and now Vincent Keymer doesn't react correctly. Garry Kasparov mentioned once, if you put 10 times your opponent into some pressure, he says that in one move he'll make a mistake for sure if you put him into pressure really for a long time. After bishop to f3, believe me, the only good defensive move here is to play d takes c3. After something like b takes c3, now you play rook from a to e8. Again, you allow here maybe white to take the knight on h5. But now after bishop to h3, you have at least some compensation. And after bishop to e6, the engine says this should be pretty equal. Black has finally defended this position because the queens are off the board. Of course, there are still some several tactical problems that have to be solved, but I think this is the position that Vincent Keymer should have gone into this line. But after move bishop to f3, now he played rook from a to e8, and from this point on, this game becomes really a one-way ticket in white's favor. This is not good because here g3 was played by Ramesh Babu Praggnanandhaa. Now there is no checkmate threat on g2, which is of course now attacking the knight in a different way. Now we can obviously take the knight with the bishop, so it's not a good game anymore here for Vincent Keymer. So Vincent has to play a strange king to h6, has to get the king closer to the action, but now g4 puts more pressure against this knight, so really a messed up position. Even if you play now d takes c3, the move that we have seen previously, maybe Vincent should have played, then knight to e4 with ideas of knight to g5 is simply again winning here for white. So after move g3, we have king to h6, we have g4, now comes d takes c3, but it's a little bit too slow. B takes c3, knight to e5, attacking now also the bishop on f3, but now g5. Beautiful move here by Ramesh Babu Praggnanandhaa, puts more pressure against the king, and the game is almost over here for Vincent. If you play king to h7, then bishop to h5 attacks the queen, will simply play discovered attack against the king, so it's game over. So after move g5, here Vincent had to play queen to g5, Prague of course takes, bishop to g5, rook to g5, and now king to h2. What should Black do? There are again maybe some options. Bishop to g6, the engine says, is the only move that maybe gives here Vincent Keymer some kind of a chance, because then after something like bishop to g4, you place the rook on h8, then rook to g1, you take, you trying maybe something like this, rook to d5, attacking the knight on d2, you attack the rook, black takes maybe, and now here we have g takes h5, rook to f2, and then after king to h1, again a very tricky position, maybe something like king to g7, rook to g5. So this was just a line that was suggested by the top engine Stockfish 16. So as I said, not maybe the optimal position for black, of course, so white is much better here, but maybe something to prolong the game, maybe something to keep some kind of a dynamic position. But here after king to h2, Vincent played the worst move, knight to g6, which allows now here Prague of course to take, queen to g5, and now here Prague could also take the rook on e8, and from this point on I think this is now completely winning position here for Prague. Knight to f4, bishop takes b7, you see the position is simply collapsing. Prague goes for always for attack. He is always playing now simple threat ideas, nothing spectacular. Rook to a5, we have here also an attack against the bishop, so we have here d5, rook to f1, also counter attack against the bishop to b6, Prague takes, c takes b6, and after rook to b5, bishop to h3, rook takes f4, good move here by Prague, simplifying the position, knight to f4, and rook to b6. In this position, Vincent Keymer resigned. Of course, this is winning because of this passer. White is up the exchange. White will always wait here, maybe this pawn, but this one has a clear path, so nothing can be done. This pawn is unstoppable, so it was a fair resign here, I think, by Vincent Keymer. So great game by Prague, great aggressive method in the Italian opening. As I said, this is a common tactic, but the sidelines have to be studied really in deep way. Great players like Praggnanandhaa play this like almost like the Stockfish engine, really till perfection. It was a perfect game, I think, here by Praggnanandhaa, and he has now an important win in the Prague Chess Festival in 2024. So okay, this will be now the tournament that will follow in the next couple of days. I think this is a beautiful tournament for us to follow for sure. We cannot wait until we see maybe some derbs like Gukesh versus Praggnanandhaa versus Nodibrek versus Gukesh. Richard Rapport is here. Richard is really one of my favorite players. He always spices up the game, so we can expect also great things for him. So it will be a epic tournament for us to follow in the next couple of days. So okay, I hope that you enjoyed this game. I really enjoyed it a lot. If you want to see some other content here on my YouTube chess channel, check out our commented chess games, but also our commented chess games here by the top engines. Here are the links of our playlist, and if you like this content, subscribe to my channel. See you soon with some more videos, and what do we say in the end? Chess is the best, of course.